A very good afternoon to Miss YE and my fellow classmates. I'm No Sabrina, and today I'll be giving a presentation on the journal article review. So the title of my journal article is The Effects of Active Social Media Engagement with Peers on Body Image in Young Women by Hugh and Miles, 2019, published in Science Direct. So, introduction. So the main idea of the introduction is that social media affects the perception of body image, especially women, as they use social media to compare and self-evaluate their body with other people. So the evidence here is that how women use social media to compare and self-evaluate their bodies with other people, because other people have published or put on an idealized image that they have, and from there they start to self-evaluate their image, and this creates a negative impact and negative effect on their body and their mentality and their perception towards body image. So then we have literature review. So the first literature review is the cross-sectional research shows that negative relations between the image of the body and the active social media communications, as the analysis shows that the association between the use of social media and the drive for having a thin body and body insecurity is weakly regulated by upward social comparison, and they have a greater scales and parallels of influence on body image issues to celebrities and models' upward social comparison. And secondly, we have the different ways that men and women use social media. So here, women use social media to look for the ideal body appearance and compare themselves with it, while men use social media to connect with friends and do not use it to compare their body image with others. As young women would display their idolized representations of themselves on social media, and as a result, potentially they see their peers' idolized image and equate themselves with the images, as men are most likely not to do it on social media or do not use social media for such purposes. And thirdly, the investigation of relationships between photo-based active social media engagement (ASME) with young women's body image, as research by Miles, Rosen, and Velazar, 2011, women are more likely to deal with body insecurity than men in the use image social media. Then we have methodology. So the participants were consisted of 143 female undergraduate students from the York University who enrolled in an Introduction to Psychology course that employed a thesis on social media and relationships by an online experiment management method. So the procedure was conducted for 8 days, and the female students with Facebook and Instagram accounts were allowed and achieved a partial course credit for participating. And an informed consent was provided for the participants in the online questionnaire also before the experiment was conducted. So how this experiment was conducted was that a toy course was used to randomly assign the conditions to the participants, and later on these participants would enter a room based on the conditions that were given randomly to them. So the measure was that 18 respondents were unable to comply with the experimental directions and therefore were removed completely from all trade, leaving a final sample of 125, and they were asked to answer a questionnaire and be involved in the experiment, as I've stated before this. And the results shown that from various checks as randomization, manipulation, and body effects of experimental condition on state of body image was that women or peers are usually the social media friends, and for maximum validity, the study included respondents who identified a best, close, or just friends, and as a result, friends are the most commonly reported bond in the peer conditions, whereas in family conditions, cousin was the most reportedly common bond. And the discussion that was based from this journal article was that they estimated that young women who participated actively in attractive peers' body image social media will have a much more adverse body image, whereas young females who partake in family picture-based social media will not have a more adverse body image compared to before. And results have shown that ASME's appearance-based social media with appealing peers resulted in worsening body image and body perceptions in young women, while engaging with family image had little impact on the state of body image, which confirmed their hypothesis in the journal article. There are three limitations that were stated in this journal article. One being that the focus on short-term impact had constrained their studies, and how their only female survey was conducted in one university, and those data were taken, and how the results and observation are not generalizable for all young women, as it was taken in one particular place and should not be extended to men, as it was only one gender surveyed. And secondly, a degree of response bias was added intentionally due to the surprisingly participants in the peer condition had more unfavorable baseline body image scores than those in the family condition, although through a successful randomization in terms of socio-demographic variables and the BMI. Thirdly, was that how the author stated that future studies should examine whether ASME with peers affects the self-confidence of young men, and whether ASME with peers is more influenced by those individuals. So the reflection that I gained from doing this assignment was that I learned how to analyze an article and its content to remain unchanged to ensure that the accuracy of my research paper is the same as the research paper that I was referring to, and it gave me a better understanding of my topic as it increases my information that I had generally on the topic, and I am surely able to create a high quality research paper later on with this added information and experience in the coming future. So this is the reference for the article that I use for this journal article assessment, and thank you very much for your time.